Pat House, Dom Irrera.
Pat, how are you, brother?
Doing very well, man. Great to see you. What's going on?
Hey, I got my hand in a lot of things I can't talk about. It's always good to have somebody on a talk show that you can't talk. I'd rather not. How you doing? How's Philly?
Philly is good, man. Philly is good. Family is good. I know you know most of them. Everybody's doing all right.
You been playing the guitar?
Oh yeah, I have it right next to me. Been playing all morning.
Oh, I didn't know you played guitar.
Oh yeah, for like 30-something years.
Yeah, you ever bring it on stage?
Never, not once.
Did you ever think about it?
Never, not once.
Wow, that's interesting.
I keep the guitar is fun for me at home. Like I've jammed with bands before, and I've done music open mics, joining friends' bands and doing cover songs. But like, no, stand up stays by itself.
And what's your reason for that? Like not bringing the two worlds together?
Musical comedy to me, there's so few people that do it well. It's like Weird Al and Tenacious D. It's like, that's it.
Blessing on your head, mazel tov, mazel tov.
Yeah.
Like grandma's. Hey.
Well, didn't Steve Martin do a banjo or a guitar?
Yeah. He played great banjo.
Yeah, he still does. And the Steep Canyon Rangers, they're still like an actively touring band.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing this thing for Comedy Central, and you know how you get so disappointed in life. Everybody's willing to do it, you know. All these guys, Buddy Hackett, and all these like old guys. And I went to Steve Martin, and he wouldn't do anything. I was thinking, this is the guy that who like, you know, was so goofy when I was a kid. He was so fucking funny. And then it broke my heart. Like, no, you're full of yourself too. And I thought he was too goofy to be that.
Anyway. Wait, what do you mean he wouldn't do anything? What do you mean?
Well, I was just going around roaming to get interviews. The Comedy Awards, you know, the whole thing with the. Remember they used to have this. Do you remember when we had that thing?
Was it like an
First
award
ABC
show, right,
did
Tom?
it.
Is that what it was? An award show, like a comedy?
Yeah, an award show. The same, you know. You know all the comedians that got it every year.
And what he didn't want to talk at all.
Oh yeah, I mean, just acknowledge it. You know, I'm like walking around like some jadrul, you know, and everybody was really nice except him.
Could you translate that for the Irish?
Are you all Irish?
Mostly, yeah. Yeah.
Irish Catholic.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Did you get your ashes Wednesday?
I did not. I haven't gotten ashes since I think my senior year of high school when I like literally had to. So 20 years of not getting ashes.
That's a disgrace, Pat House.
Not the first time I've heard that either. Today.
What did everybody give up for Lent?
Talking to you.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, man. I think me and Dom are gonna start a show. Yeah.
I was gonna I always think about it and then I never actually pull the trigger on anything. I'm like, I'll give up drinking, or I'll give up just like, you know, I'll work out every day, and then just nothing happens and I just continue to just maintain whatever I do.
Yeah.
Is that an Irish thing or a Catholic thing?
I think it's just who knows? I mean, I don't know. Do you guys eat meat on Fridays?
Nope.
I eat more meat than any other day, just for spite.
I feel you on that. I mean, I had a cheesesteak yesterday. I mean, I had a weird Catholic upbringing. Like, my mom sent me to Catholic school, grade school and high school, and I enjoyed it. I had no qualms with it, but we never went to church on Sunday or Christmas or Easter. So she sent me there for the education, but we were never practicing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that's the case too.
Yeah.
Like we were committed when I was in school, but the minute I went to high school, that was it.
Were your parents putting on like game face for you? Did they care?
During like grade school, absolutely. Like I did the altar boy thing.
I was an altar boy.
Yeah, I was an altar
boy. I used to
boy.
get the giggles.
I used to carry the thing with the
incense.
Yeah. You hold the bucket, he throws the water.
Thoroughfare or something.
Yeah.
That stuff would either smell fantastic or make the church like absolutely reek.
It would make me faint. It was hard.
So I remember kids fainting in church was like a very common thing.
Yeah, because they're not supposed to eat, and they got low blood sugar.
Yeah.
I'd be shaking when I come out of it.
6 years old, like purposely being starved. You can't eat till after mass.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we couldn't eat until after mass on Sunday mornings. I forgot that was a thing.
I mean, we go to mass sometimes at 11 o'clock in the morning, just like this hellhole. And at 7 o'clock at that time, I need something. But they don't give a fuck. They never did. And I say this to the guy.
What was the official rule? You're not supposed to have food an hour before you have Eucharist. Was it just 1 hour, or was it all morning?
You're supposed to stop eating at midnight. And if you're gonna have if you have a 6 o'clock mass, that's not so bad. But if you have a 12 o'clock,
right?
No, I think you gotta fast before and then an hour after you receive.
You just made that up.
No, I'm telling you. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
You make up a lot of things.
Look it up, Brian. I'm telling you.
Cardinal Rinaldi. Yeah, Bishop Rinaldi.
Cardinal Rinaldi.
I do still go to church. I got my ashes, and I did give up something for Lent. I'm not bragging or anything, but
you're better than all of us.
I don't know if that's the humility Jesus.
Well, I got 2 kids at home, so I want to set an example.
Okay, so you're coming at it from a totally different angle. I am not married and I don't have kids, and I'm a piece of shit most days, so why break the streak?
Oh, we're relieved that you said it. Thanks.
Tom, where did you watch the Super Bowl?
In Vegas at the Tropicana.
Oh, nice.
They gave us the green room. It was fucking really fun.
Oh, that's cool. I performed in Vegas one time on Super Bowl Sunday, and I was dreading it. I thought it was going to be the worst show of the week, and it was actually the best. The crowd after the game. The crowd was fucking attentive, and I was like, I went in with my boxing gloves on, and they ended up being the best show and most like pleasant and respectful of the entire week.
What was it? Your show was after or during the Super Bowl?
After the game. Game was already done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was packed. I didn't think anybody go out. They'll be drunk by now.
It was mobbed. Did you have a show that night?
I had 2 shows.
Oh, wow.
You know why? Because I kill. That's why. I destroy. I leave no prisoners. Every time a guy tells me he crushed or killed, I was there a lot of times. I was in the back. Oh, well, then he starts dancing around. If you're like that good a comedian, what are you doing here with me?
I don't think I have the confidence to say I killed. I could be like, that went well. I enjoyed it. I think they enjoyed it, but I don't know if I have it in me to be like, fuck yeah, I fucking destroyed that.
Pat, you always coming up in Philly, what I remember is you always said the right things. Like after a set or during a show, you always said the right things. It never came off like, I'm the shit. I don't very humble approach.
Thank you. Well, I'm also,
I want to compliment you on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's so hard to tell. You know what? I should try to accept compliments for Lent. I'm so bad at that. So instead of deferring, I'll accept that and say thank you.
One guy would never admit that he thought they bombed. And I remember the club owner just asked him, he's getting money together. And he goes, how'd you do tonight? He goes, they were very attentive. What kind of they were attentive? What a nice audience.
They were present and they sat down for me.
Now, I was asking one of my other friends about this the other day, but how much will you guys change what you do for a specific crowd? Like how much goes into reading the room and how much would you like, I think Steve, we were actually talking about this on the phone. Like how much Pat would you change on stage depending on the crowd that you have versus like what your plan is?
I mean, it really depends. There's always some leeway. Last night I had to jump ship a little bit and do things I wasn't planning on doing, but I trust myself doing that. But I like to constantly throw new stuff in the set, and I pretty much go out there with a game plan of what I'm doing, but I always keep a couple things in my back pocket just in case. Gotcha. Like if they're super drunk, throw in some of the drinking jokes, or someone has a goofy drink, like ask them what they're drinking and then do a joke or two off that. But I'm much more of like a material guy. I talk, you don't. Just fucking listen.
Okay. Yeah. Because I mean, the more and more I've worked with comedians, I see that there's, different approaches of it.
But then you have someone, so many comics like love to just roll with the crowd if it goes astray, or don't go out there with any game plan. They just dive right into the crowd. I've never been that type of comic. I'm not totally scripted, but like I like to stick to my material and the
Stick to
game
what you
plan
wrote,
as
right?
much as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, stick to what you wrote. What about you, Dom? What do you like doing?
I don't like any of it. Tell you the truth. I just do it for the money.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's about the moolah.
Dom, when'd you stop enjoying comedy?
What was it, 7th grade? I think. I enjoy it. I mean, I didn't know that they had an act. When I watched comedians, I didn't know. Like, I thought they were improvising all the time. And I go into the club. I go, this guy did this last time. That's the hard part.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people have that mindset that it's like a new set every single show, or that we're just pulling this out of the universe in the moment, as if we haven't been doing this one line perfectly. It took us 10 years to get the joke this way.
Yeah. How often do you guys like burn the material? Like you'll throw it away, you'll never use it again. Do you guys do that?
I feel like a lot of stuff. It may go on an album, and I may be tired of it, but I'll still keep it in my back pocket. You never know when it might come out. Like, I have Dairy Queen jokes about my first job on my first album. 2 months ago, a woman yelled out Dairy Queen in the crowd. I swear to God. And then I just did those jokes, and they came back to me so naturally. So like, I think they're always there.
Was that your mom?
No, I wish it was. My mom has heckled me before, though, numerous times. And I've seen Jimmy Schubert get heckled by his mother at Helium.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Dom, you ever throw away anything? Like you'll just can it? You won't use it anymore?
I think my subconscious does. Like when I've had enough of it. I don't want them to go with me verbatim. That's maybe for a little bit, like the Joey Bag of Donuts, one of those, as we all know, it'll live forever. Mm-hmm. I don't do them unless they holler them out. If they holler them out, I'll do it because they came to see me, and I'm glad they came. So I don't do that. I do that.
That's totally another aspect of it too. Like, you feel like, oh shit, these people have heard me do this joke a million times. They don't want to hear it. And then after the show, they're like, why didn't you do that thing? You're like, oh, Jesus Christ, I thought you heard it 15 times and you were over it. But then they'll like, you didn't do my favorite bit.
Yeah, it's funny. People say that about musicians too. When they go to see a band, they'll want to hear like the top, those top songs that they know.
The songs that bought them mansions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I seen on the news Tom Brady might try stand up. Did you guys see that?
Oh God,
I can't believe it.
I did see that.
It's all over the news.
But I refuse to delve in. Yeah.
But I mean, I think he'll sell out the clubs.
No, bro. I saw the follow up to that, and it got debunked. I think he's actually going to get roasted. Is what's going to happen. I think they're going to do a Tom Brady roast, or he might be involved in somebody else's roast. That's actually what the That's what when the story first broke. It was that he was going to do stand up, but it's not. He's going to be in a roast somewhere.
God, could you imagine? All right, your next comic doing 3 minutes. We got Tom Brady.
You've seen him on Fox, CBS, NBC.
Yeah. They throw
NFL Network.
They throw the tomato at him. He throws it back.
When you're fucking Giselle from behind and
yeah. I was thinking when that whole thing went down and he was upset, and how do you console him? Like, oh, don't worry, you get somebody better than her. I'm thinking, who the fuck's better than her? She's a billionaire. She's hot. She seems fun. He'll never know. He won't. He'll never get anybody like good. You peak, buddy boy.
But I think what's going to end up happening is if he does like a Netflix or Comedy Central roast, don't these celebrity guys that get their jokes written for them, don't they go to the clubs and work it out? Dom, you took part in one of those, like Bruce Willis roast. Like, do the celebrities on it work it out, like at clubs before they do the filming?
I don't think so. Not usually.
No.
Bruce was easy for me because Philly, the whole thing. But I didn't want to say his 3 daughters were sitting in the front. Right, I know them all. It's like I don't want to be hurtful to them. There are certain things, that I don't want to see somebody they love,
Yeah.
because they don't get the meanness of it.
Were they still like young kids at the time?
No, they were like teenagers. And
Okay, but still, you might not understand the concept of a roast at that point. Like, why are these guys being so mean to my dad?
I was doing a Burt Reynolds roast, and it was we were the young ones, me and Bill Maher and Brad Garrett. I went up. I'm talking about fucking Lonnie Sanderson in the ass and all this shit, and they're all laughing. Just like you get away with being stupidly mean and hopefully funny.
Right.
But then, for some reason, he had a beef with Brad Garrett, and he goes, "Hey, big guy, this doesn't come off," and he pulls his toupee. And he goes, "You want a piece of me?" And Brad goes to me, he goes, "What should I do?" I go, "Well, you can't fight fucking Burt Reynolds at his weight."
Disagree. I think you can.
Do you remember Jack Palance?
Yeah.
I don't think I know that is, no.
Well, he would be like 110 now, but
City Slickers. He was curly in City Slickers.
Oh, I know who that guy is.
He used to do one-hand push-ups, and when the acts weren't really big movie stars or something, we just had it at the Friars Club in L.A. And he gets up there and he goes, when he goes at the crowd, he goes, "Fuck you!" Like he didn't understand it was a roast, Fuck you.
Was this Reynolds? Reynolds said this?
Yeah. No, Jack Palance said it.
Jack Palance. Oh, Jack Palance. Yeah. Jack Palance.
Don't you get it? It's a roast. It's fun. Fuck you.
What was it like working with Burt Reynolds? How was he?
Well, like I said, he was nice to me. I don't know why. I was filthy, but
Yeah.
Lonnie Anderson. You remember who she is?
Yeah. I know Lonnie Anderson.
She was on one of those TV shows with she's supposed to be a babe,
Right.
She was.
She was laughing,
Dom, did you ever work with that comedian that just passed away, Richard Belzer?
Oh yeah. Well, he was like the big act when I went to New York. And he was a really good guy, but he looked like a killer. And he got that part in Law and Order. He was 50 when he made it. So you really hang in there, boys. You never know.
Wasn't he known for being like the best MC?
Yeah, well, he was the one that started that rhythm. Like Dennis Miller is just an intellectual copy of him. The rhythm, babe. That.
Yeah.
Oh, like a cadence.
A cadence, yeah.
Yeah. And then that whole Law and Order thing. He didn't have many movie roles before that, did he?
Hey, fuck you.
What?
No, it was a cold callback. Can you imagine that at a roast? Some of those guys, I was lucky. I got in when these guys were
I'm sorry, Dom.
I'm sorry you laughed. I don't want to break your bombing.
Has anybody that anybody knows of not received their roast very well? Like really didn't enjoy it?
I think maybe Whoopi Goldberg. She was going out with Ted Danson at the time, I think, and they asked me to do it. I just didn't want any part of it.
Whoopi Goldberg and Ted Danson dated?
You didn't know
I
that?
think so. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Back in the early 90s. I remember that when they made that horrible movie together that I still watched a million times. What the fuck was that movie? He's like a car salesman.
It was right around the time.
I thought she was gay.
No,
gay?
he was in a movie with Macaulay Culkin at the time. It was like Getting Even with Dad, I think it was called.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember that. It was the early 90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dom, what happened? The roast with Whoopi?
Oh, I don't know. I just you know who was bad too that I didn't want to get? It was Chevy Chase.
Oh, I think I remember hearing that.
They were going at, I think.
Dom, it may have been you forever ago. I remember hearing somebody say that, they weren't too pleased, and I think it may have been him.
Yeah, he didn't get it either. But he's part of that great troupe that Saturday Night Live, the first group. It's the only thing I've ever seen where the first are the best.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody got as good as that, don't you think?
Hey, fuck you. No, that's funny.
You don't even see me when you say it.
You were smiling as you said it.
I got a lot of work to do, Dom.
So who was in that first group? It would have been Martin Short, right? Steve Martin.
No, this is before Martin Short. Martin Short was in Second City from Toronto. That TV show was great because it was only a half an hour, so they could really drill it, When it's an hour and a half every week, it's impossible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't watch much SNL anymore, but I used to love that show. But who was in that first group? It was Steve Martin.
No,
Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin, Garrett Morris. Was Gilda Radner in the first cast?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. Steve Martin was a cast member.
No, yeah, he was. He came on to host it a lot of times, but he wasn't a regular.
Oh, it was John Belushi also.
Oh, yeah, he was the
Lorraine
big male
Bennett.
star out of it.
Yeah.
And Chevy Chase.
Did Belushi do stand up?
No. Well, there's somebody else was on that.
Gilda Radner.
No, this is later on. I love
Jane Curtin?
who's the kind of fat guy who could really dance funny and all. This was later on, but
Farley.
Yeah, man, he was fucking funny.
Yeah, and the Fly on the Wall podcast with Dana Carvey and David Spade just had like a 2-part Chris Farley episode. I haven't listened to it yet, but it's like next on my to-do list because I loved Farley and I really got to listen to that one.
Yeah.
Not to plug somebody else's podcast on your podcast.
What's the pot? It's Spade and
Carvey.
Carvey, yeah.
Fly on the Wall.
Last week when I was at the stand, David Spade showed up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I never seen his stand up before, but it was very funny.
He's a great guy too. He's so easygoing, but he had 4 hit TV shows. When you think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's had a handful of successful movies too.
Dom, didn't you tell us some story about how he got found by some guys? I feel like we talked about this on an episode before.
Oh, we did.
The Atlanta Punchline called me. They wanted him to medal for me, and then they didn't want him. I said, I really believe that. I don't know what's going to happen. I think this guy's good. I'm not a talent scout, but he just had his own thing, And I think you want to book him now when he couldn't book him. 2 years later.
Wow.
They were a funny team, the two of them, him and the fat one.
God rest his soul.
I mean, Tommy Boy is one of the funniest movies. I put that in my top 10 of all time. But you can't sleep on Black Sheep either, which came out a year later. That was also so fucking funny.
Yeah, it was.
It's under the shadow of Tommy Boy because it wasn't as commercially successful, but Black Sheep is ridiculously very, very funny.
And what's interesting about their chemistry, he wasn't a stand-up, and you're saying Farley was an improv actor.
He was improv, yep.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember the one where Patrick Swayze?
Yeah, the Chippendales.
That was so fucking funny. The dance.
It's classic.
With that big belly.
Yeah. Everybody's working for the weekend.
Are there any stand-ups on the SNL cast now?
I don't think so.
I don't think they do that no more.
I mean,
I'm not shitting on the show by any means, but I can truthfully say I don't think I've seen a full episode of SNL in pushing a decade.
Wow.
I don't dislike it. It's just
it's Saturday night. You're out working.
Yeah, but I go back to the hotel and it had nothing on it has grabbed me at all.
Mm-hmm. It's different.
Definitely different.
It's not the same.
They can't do the things that they used to be able to do on the show. That's what it is. It's network TV. They can't do.
Actually, to answer your question, wouldn't Michael Che and Colin Jost, the Weekend Update guys, they're both stand-ups, but I don't really. And they're doing jokes, so that's in the realm. But I don't know about like cast members who are stand-ups.
Pete Davidson, is he still?
He's not on it no more.
He's not on it anymore.
But to piggyback what you were saying, Bri, I'm working with Brett this weekend, Brett Ernst, and he said something on stage last night that's so true. How you're saying that the media, they gotta, it's an NBC show, they gotta be careful the kind of content they put out on it
Yeah,
anymore.
but it was always a network show.
Yeah, network television has.
Yeah, but it's different now. Like Brett said on stage that Biden was known to shit his pants at the Vatican a couple months ago. And he's like, Brett's on stage, and he's like,
I gotta get this out of my head.
Wait. It's a known thing that Biden shit himself at the Vatican. And what Brett said was not one SNL skit about this. And he's like, if it was Trump, NBC would have put it out. And he's got a good point about it.
He does have a good point there.
It's a really good point. Like, it's years ago, nobody was safe. Nobody was safe on that show. Now it's kind of changed a little bit.
They absolutely did hit both sides, especially with like George Bush and like Bill Clinton before that. Like they definitely
tore both of them.
Yep.
Up. Tore both
now
of
it's
them up.
definitely taken a very much a one-sided approach.
And they used to hit Obama too.
Yeah.
Sorry to give you that visual of the president shitting himself.
No, thank you, man. Did he get his ashes that day?
Yeah. Cardinal Rinaldi gave him the blessing.
Not all callbacks need a fuck you guys.
Well, Travis Kelce's doing SNL.
I saw that
next week, and today in the news they said that Jason Kelce's going to do a cameo, which I think's a disgrace, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm all for it. They'll probably put him in his mummer costume.
Well, everybody knows what a mummer is around the country, right?
Yeah, because of him now. Because people are like, what the fuck is this guy wearing?
Yeah.
I remember they talked about it on ESPN when he did that, when he went up there screaming, yelling. They were saying, oh, he's doing some sort of a New Orleans themed rant.
Dude, you know what's so funny? People in the Midwest in particular really don't know a lot about sports, and that's a generalization. But I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana in December. I'm wearing a Phillies hat and an Eagles shirt, and the woman at the front desk goes, "Where are you from?" And I just started laughing. Like, I'm wearing two sports teams from one city. Oh, where are you visiting from, Mr. House? I was like, this is hilarious.
And the other thing is, I feel like Philly people, they get so stuck in their world around Philly. Like, my dad's one of these people. He does sales, and a lot of the guys that he does produce, like fruits and vegetables, and he tries to like have a Philly conversation with these farm guys from the middle of the country. So like when Angelo Cataldi retired 2 weeks ago, he's like venting to the guy. He's like, oh my God, Angelo Cataldi, I can't believe he's done. I can't believe he's done. And the farmer's like, who the fuck's Angelo Cataldi?
That is so Philly specific, dude.
And my dad, the guy walks away, and my dad's like, this fucking jerk off don't know who Angelo is. Like, it's his best friend.
Speaking of Cataldi, I swear to God, I did a show last night with Joe Conklin, and Joe mentioned Cataldi retiring, and the crowd fucking cheered.
Really?
No.
It was the most Philly Delco thing I've ever seen at a comedy show. Not in like a mocking way. They were like cheering his career.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Very
and
nice.
I was like, this is wild.
That was a great show.
It was a good show.
I do a lot of them all over the world because I kill. But it was really funny. I mean, Angelo was really smart. You know, he went to Brown. He acts dumb to aggravate people to call him. Or like, look at the thing I didn't like. Yeah, a little too mean, like getting guys fired. You know,
Oh, he did that?
The manager of the Phillies, he got him. I mean, he just went. It was a campaign against him. And that's kind of like Howard Stern stuff. But
oh, I see what you're saying. Like, used his power to kind of influence the team.
Oh yeah, well, they thought he was serious. He was fucking funny. He was kidding. But
well, I mean,
which manager was that?
I think Charlie. I think Charlie Manuel.
I thought it was an Italian guy.
Oh,
Terry Francona.
Maybe
Yeah, might have been Frank. Yeah,
but he's coaching the Red Sox now, isn't he? He's been with them forever, I think. if he's still their coach.
Philly in general is a tough market to be a athlete or a coach. Like, look what we did.
It's a
Look
tough
what we
market
look,
to be in for anything, man. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It's just
look
a tough
what we
fucking
did to
city.
Andy Reid had one losing season. They fucking got rid of him.
Oh yeah,
Now,
he's got
like
he's a Hall of Fame manager.
That's
Yeah,
so
no,
indigenous of all Philly sports, man. You have one bad season here, you jump ship, go to a different city, you're fucking MVP of the league.
Yeah.
it's like they couldn't wait to get rid of him. The only one it really worked out for is Carson Wentz. Like, look what's happening to him now. He hasn't stayed on the team longer than a year since he left.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, no one expected our quarterback now, Jalen Hurts, to
Well, he
be.
got cut. Of course, he was like this big deal for what was it, Carson? They named it a town after him in Pennsylvania.
Wentz,
I thought he had the look of fear in his eyes. I really didn't think I was. You don't want your quarterback to look scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have the killer look. No, he definitely didn't have the killer look. He was great though for you guys, wasn't he? Didn't he play great for the Eagles?
1 year.
He was
Year,
the
and then
year
he
they won the Super Bowl when he didn't play in the Super Bowl.
and then Nick
That's what it
Foles
was.
Nick
Foles wins the Super Bowl, and Philly gives him the nickname Big Dick Nick.
Yeah, that's
It's like,
dude, nothing was greater than when the whole entire Lincoln Financial Field was chanting that in unison. Just 55,000 people chanting Big Dick Nick at an
That's what-
outdoor stadium in Philadelphia. It's the best thing the city's ever done.
that's our city. That's our city right there.
And we're proud of it.
I don't understand the rioting, doing something that hurts the neighborhood because we won. I mean, let's turn a car over.
Yeah, that stuff was so disheartening. That stuff is so sad because even if they win a game or whatever, it's celebratory. Everybody's in a good mood, but it's still the mob mentality leads to vandalism.
Can you bring up any clips, Brian?
I don't really want to mess with the connection. bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
We tried this before, Pat, and
Yeah, I just don't really want to.
it messed up the whole.
Oh, then don't worry about it. We're going to
Yeah,
show footage of cars being flipped over. I've seen it. I've done it.
We pulled up the video of the guy eating the horse shit when they won the Super Bowl.
Oh,
We can skip that segment, guys. I'm totally cool with not doing that part of the episode.
And ironically, the whole episode crashed after that. So it was like
That's a sign that we should not bring that clip up again.
How big was the horse?
you don't see the horse.
It was a stallion.
Don't see the
It was
horse.
a stallion.
Was the horse shit on a plate?
No, it was on the ground.
Oh, it was in the street, bro. Right in the
Crazy.
street. You don't remember that?
I never saw a card show that actually made me nauseous. He shot his pants.
Dude, I like dry heave when I pick up my dog shit if it's like a watery dump. So I can't handle watching that video. I would start gagging.
It's gross.
Let's start over.
Dom, how are you? Fuck you.
Good, Pat. Good to see you, man. I still don't fucking get this thing. It's how out of touch I am. I said to my girl, what's her name?
Sam.
Sam.
It's cool, right?
I said to her, well, we should bring some drinks for the guys. I forgot that we're not together.
Oh, that's
I really.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I did this, I went. Like I said, I'll go down to the bar and hang out, and have a drink with somebody. There was nobody there. I go, how the fuck did you get out of here so fast?
It's
They were never here.
It is doing the
That's-
podcast virtually is super convenient.
it really is.
Pat, you do it on your show, right? Get a quick plug in there.
I have a podcast called I Guess I'll Do It with Pat House. Dom and I have talked about it before. I just brought it back, so I would love to have you on. We got to make that happen now that I know we can do it. I took a 6 to 8 month break, but it's a lot of fun. Had a lot of great guests on, and I'm really having a fun time. I basically just talked to comedians about their early interest in comedy and stand up, their very, very first set. And then we just bullshit about comedy from there.
Nice.
It's a cool premise. I like.
I
that.
love talking about
Yeah.
the early days.
Yeah, I would
like,
do it. I would love to do it. Stuttering.
yeah,
I would
no,
love to do
absolutely.
it.
You know, I have talked about it before, but it's been a while. But now that I'm trying to get it back off the ground again, I'll reach out this week.
Dom, you remember your first set?
Well,
We're-
in first grade, I told you that, right? But in first grade, the nun took me downstairs. She'll see how you frame from of the eighth grade, because they're like the desks are up there. And honest to God, I had like a good set. I did like 5 minutes clean.
Clean.
I did, and she didn't know what to do. She just get in your room. She didn't expect me to have a good set,
Yeah.
I didn't call it a set then. I don't know what I called it.
Guys, how was my third period lunch spot?
You had to go on after English.
real talk. And I had an obsession with stand up when I was in grade school. I loved it. And
So did I, man.
And
Yeah,
I was
me too.
I was a class clown, and my fifth grade teacher, Mr. Fetters, he used to see that my dad used to give me like leftovers from the night before, like meatballs,
Right.
amount of gut, and he would be like, "What's your dad bring you in today?" And he would smell it. So I worked something out with him where I would bring him leftovers, and he would give me 5 minutes at the end of the class.
No kidding.
My hand to God that I used to do comedy in my fifth grade class.
That's the most Italian thing I've heard in my life. Stage time in exchange for leftovers. That's
But my father's
that's such
a
a
good
cool story. That's really cool.
my father's a good
Yeah.
cook. Yeah. I went to Brett Ernst's taping in New York. I think I mentioned that earlier. And I didn't know this, that generally when you do a taping at a club, they cut off all the food and drink service.
Yeah.
Have either of you guys done a taping at like a comedy club before?
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah,
In
but
the-
nothing major. But I mean, I think this was like local stuff for Helium years and years ago. I think they still maintained beverage service. I don't think it was anything like it wasn't taping a special. It was just
Yeah.
like local comedy spotlight on Comcast channel.
Yeah, it was definitely
TV like that.
it was definitely a challenge, like dealing with people that paid tickets and wanted a night out.
They couldn't drink.
Oh, it was crazy. And then like some jerk off that really had to pay. Like Brett's up there doing an hour, and like at 42 minutes, this dude runs by, and Brett, like, it's crazy. Like the money that goes into a project like that, I can only imagine.
Mhm.
But
Seinfeld did Governors for his special, and he bombed for him.
Right.
It's just a different world.
yeah, Brett was trying to explain that like when you do like a Comedy Central taping or something for a network, it's different compared to if you tape at a club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've been to a couple Comedy Central Presents tapings, and I don't recall if there was drinks there or not. I really don't even remember. I do remember brown paper bagging it at Penn Station with a PBR. So I got my load on beforehand.
Nice. Nice.
Pat, you've done some tapings at Helium, though.
Like a couple, but nothing that was for like anything significant. Like they have Helium Comedy Studios now, which are legit putting up a lot of comic specials. I've never done one of those, but like done like 2 camera shoots there. But I would never expect them to like stop food or beverage service during my 25-minute feature set.
Yeah.
And like I headline Helium every November, and I've had some of those sets filmed on my own. Like it doesn't bother me. I feel like most comedy club servers are pretty quiet and stealthy anyways. You know what I
Right, they
mean?
know what they're doing.
And when
Yeah,
I'm
they know
on
what they're doing.
stage, I'm hyper aware of what's going on in the room, but the wait staff is rarely an issue.
Yeah. And
But a taping is a whole different ballgame. Can the
Right.
server not go to this side of the room? Does she have to
Right.
walk around these 3 tables to avoid being on? That's a whole different ballgame.
what's both of yours opinion about how clubs now they tape your sets and then when you leave they give you the file? What's your thoughts on that? Like that's becoming a thing. Like they got a camera. What's your opinion on that?
Dom, you want to go or?
Well, I would ask them not to tape it unless they tell me, and I agree to it.
Yeah.
I usually, like, when I'm in that situation, only if I have a good set or if I'm working on something new or I get maybe a cool clip to post on social media now. Before, I never really cared, but now if the club offers it, it's like, hell yeah, I'll do 2 jokes I haven't done in forever just to get social media content from Denver and it'll look cool. So I think it is pretty cool, but I don't always like use it.
Yeah,
They did a foot.
I'm sorry, Don.
Go ahead, bro.
No, it's just interesting now how like the dynamic has changed. You film your stuff and then you chop up everything and you put it out there. It's so crazy.
It's exhausting.
It's odd.
It's exhausting just to edit it all.
Exactly. Like, I just want to do stand-up. I love doing stand-up. I just want to do stand-up. But now I feel like fucking Steven Spielberg when I'm in my hotel room editing last night's set to put up a 17-second clip, and I'm not good at this shit, so it takes me 3 hours to get this 17-second clip ready, and then I post it, and then 4 people even acknowledge it's in the universe now.
Yeah, but
fuck that.
If it sucks at a certain respect because the playing field is now leveled for anybody. Like, you have kids who are putting together little storylines that are getting like hundreds of thousands of views, as opposed to a stand-up bit you might have worked on for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, it levels the shit, but it also puts the power in your hands to where you don't have to work with the industry anymore.
It does. There are definitely advantages to it, but it does burn me up that there are like kids building Lego sets for money that have a better income than I do.
They call them one-timers, a lot of them. They'll pack the place and there'll be terrible stand-up and they're gone.
Absolutely. That's a big side of it too. I mean, it can be a moneymaker and they can fill a club, but I mean, any decent local comic can be the feature and blow them out of the water with real shit that they've been honing as they stand up. You know?
Do any of them last, Dom? Like, is there anybody that comes to mind that went from actor or a TV star to
that dude Trevor no, not Trevor Noah,
to like professional headliners? Is there anybody that comes to mind, Dom, that made that transition?
Not really. I don't know.
I mean, Steve-O, he had a weird route.
The jackass guy.
Brendan Schwab, what's his name?
Schaub. Who's a fighter.
Yep.
He tried stand-up. He was dying up there.
He's still doing it.
It is. They shouldn't let him do it.
I'm trying to rack my brain now. Yeah, there have definitely been more than a handful of people that were celebrities in other realms that crossed over into stand-up. And I guess some people were successful. Like Jeremy Piven tours a lot now.
Yeah, he's still doing it.
Well, he's such a good actor that he acts like a stand-up. He really does. He's so good at absorbing stuff. He's terrible. He sucks as a stand-up. But
it didn't work out well for Kramer.
Trevor Wallace was the guy I was thinking of, the YouTube guy that became a stand-up.
Oh,
you guys have heard of him? He's like a redheaded guy.
I think I heard the name, but I couldn't tell you one thing I've seen
based
from
out
him.
of LA. Yeah, let me get him.
Well, nobody makes your gut laugh like Tom Brady. Do we talk about that this morning?
Yeah.
When I think funny, I think Tom Brady. Oh,
I can't believe it.
Maybe he was kidding. Hopefully, he's kidding.
Oh, he's a working stand-up now.
Yeah, you guys ever seen him around in
No.
LA or anything like that? He was a YouTube guy who did a lot of like street interviews and stuff like that. But he came on early in YouTube and amassed like millions of followers, and then he transitioned over to stand-up. But I've seen him at like the Comedy Store and like Laugh Factory. Like he does big rooms. I don't know how he is though. I've never seen him.
Louis C.K. put out a tweet the other day. He said no YouTuber should make more money than a brain surgeon. Because it's crazy the kind of money they make.
Bro, it's all about ad revenue, man. It's the entertainment
wild.
industry has always been about ad revenue. It doesn't matter if it's TV, movies, stand-up, or stand-up's, club comedy is the only one that's not about that.
Like my 10-year-old stepson will watch a YouTuber like playing a video game. Mm-hmm. And I'll look at the views and the subscribers, 13 million, 22 million. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Who's watching this?
People watch other people play video games online. I cannot wrap my head around that. I was never a video game kid, anyways. Really,
Yeah,
I
same.
wasn't at all. But that's a thing. Like, I am 38 years old, and I am putting my heart and soul into stand-up more than ever. And kids are watching other kids play video games online. Like, am I the asshole here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pat House, thank you. One more time.
Thank you so much.
One more time, plug your podcast for us.
It's called I Guess I'll Do It with Pat House. It's a lot of fun. I'm super proud of it. It gets better and better each episode. And thank you guys for having me. This was a lot of fun. Dom, it was great to see you again.
You too. Thanks for coming in.
You got it. Thank you.
That's our show.
Yo, Dom, over here. Hey,
Bye.
Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.